വെൽക്കം ബാക്ക് ടു മൈ ചാനൽ. ഇന്നത്തെ വീഡിയോ കാലിക്കറ്റ് യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി BA ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ലിറ്ററേച്ചർ 6th സെമ്മിലെ വോയിസസ് ഓഫ് വുമൺ എന്ന പുസ്തകത്തിലെ സെക്കൻഡ് മൊഡ്യൂളായ പോയട്രിയിലെ ഒരു ചാപ്റ്ററാണ്. ചാപ്റ്റർ ബിക്വെസ്റ്റ് ബൈ യൂനിസ് ഡിസൂസ. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഇതിലെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻസേഴ്സിലേക്ക് കടക്കാം. Answer the following in 2 or 3 sentences. 1. What image do you find in every Catholic home? In every Catholic home, you find a picture of Christ holding the bleeding heart in his hand. 2. With whom does the speaker exchange confidence? The speaker exchanges confidence with all persons except her hairdresser. 3. What does the poet bequeath her heart like? The poet bequeaths her heart like a spare kidney, preferably to an enemy. Paragraph questions. Answer in the following in a paragraph. How does the poet make the comparison through the imagery of the heart? Eunice D'Souza, who wrote the poem Bequest, was raised in a grown Catholic family. In every Catholic home, there will be a picture of Christ holding his bleeding heart in his hand. The pity to the Sacred Heart of Jesus is a common practice, especially in Catholic families. The message the bleeding heart conveys is the great sacrifice Jesus made for the redemption of mankind. It was a great act of charity. The poet is trying to say that she too wants to do charitable act by giving her heart to someone like a spare kidney. She wants to give her heart not to a friend but to an enemy, so that her sacrifice may look even greater. 2. What do the people ask the poet to do? Eunice D'Souza, who wrote the poem Bequest, is a famous Indian English woman poet who raises her voice for the woman in the contemporary Indian scenario. She chooses poetry as a medium to show her protest and to show the position of women to transform it. She has shared her personal experiences and connected herself with all women. She talks with all the people and she shares her secrets with them. As she herself states, the only person with whom she has not exchanged confidence is her hairdresser. Some people tell her to follow strict standards. Some say just move along without worrying too much about the right and wrong of things. People tell her to take the things as they come, as it is not easy to change the society. 3. How does the poet rediscover her self-worth? The poet rediscovers her self-worth through her rebellion against the tenets of religious models. It throws light on the traditional patriarchal culture that represses her by asking her to adhere to what society wants rather than what she wants. She compares and contrasts the imagery of heart. The bleeding of heart of Jesus refers to his sacrifices for humanity. Contrary to this image, she bequeaths her heart, symbolizing the sacrificial attitude expected from women. By dismantling the images of religion, the poet shows her discomfort against the prescribed standards imposed upon women. She has decided to do things the way she chooses, or not the way dictated to her by the patriarchs of religion or society. Essay questions. Answer the following in 300 words. 1. How does Eunice D'Souza dismantle the religious tenets in feminist angle? Eunice D'Souza dismantles the religious tenets in a feminist angle by clearly defining the social norms. She was not married, and that was one of her ways of protesting against social norms. She was caring for her mother until the latter's death, after which she looked after her aunt. She was fulfilling her ambition of bequeathing her heart, at least through showing compassion on other suffering and needy women. Women are always placed in secondary position, especially in our society, which is decidedly patriarchal. It is very strange that in India, although women constitute almost half of our population, Well, do not find any woman in our central or state cabinets. Of course, here are a few, but they are too few in number compared to their strength in the overall population. Gender discrimination is rampant in India. Discrimination against women exists in schools and colleges before marriage and after marriage because of their biological differences. Religion also plays big role in keeping women under strict rules. Eunice D'Souza rightly pointed out that in every Catholic home there is a picture of Christ holding his bleeding heart in his hand. She herself was brought up in a Catholic family. The message the bleeding heart conveys is the great sacrifice Jesus made for the redemption of mankind. It was a great act of charity, and the picture of Christ tells, "Child, learn from me." We see that women are troubled, tormented, and confused. They are given different kinds of advice. Advice comes from parents, relatives, rulers, religious leaders, elders, friends, and well wishers. They get confused. By dismantling the images of religion, the poet shows her discomfort against the prescribed standards imposed upon women. She has decided to do things the way she chooses and not the way dictated to her by the patriarchs of religion or the society. The poet ends the poem by saying she too wants to do a charitable act by giving her heart to someone like a spare kidney. She wants to give her heart not to a friend but to an enemy so that her sacrifice may look even greater. 2. How does the poet compare and contrast what women want? Women, like men, want to live happily, comfortably, and doing things to the best of their abilities, fulfilling their ambitions and dreams, and doing as much good to others as they can. But society doesn't allow women to do what they want, it forces them to do what it wants. In the socialization process, the biological function of women is stressed above all others. Women are trained to think that their aspiration in life should be to be good mothers and good housewives, doing all domestic chores and looking after the welfare of all in the family. In the poem Bequest, Eunice D'Souza brings out a predicament of woman. She herself was raised in gone Catholic family with all religiously connected with the strict Catholic families. She says in every Catholic home there will be a picture of Christ holding his bleeding heart in his hand. The pity to the sacrifice heart of Jesus is a common practice especially in Catholic families. The message the bleeding heart conveys is the sacrifice Jesus made for the redemption of mankind. She doesn't feel very comfortable at seeing the pierced and bleeding heart. She is a person who communicates with everyone. She herself states that the only person with whom she has not exchanged confidence is her hairdresser. People come with all sorts of suggestions. Some people tell her to observe strict standards. Some say just move along without worrying too much about the right and wrong of things. Somebody right is somebody else wrong. One man's meat is another man's poison, and one man's religion is another man's madness. It is not easy to know what the truth is. Some people tell her to take the things as they come. She knows it is not easy to change the society. In the picture of Sacred Heart, there is a call, "Child, learn from me." Obviously, the call is for people to make sacrifice for others. She says she has taken the call in another way. She wants to do some charity. Her charitable act is bequeathing her heart to someone like a spare kidney. She wants to give her heart not to be a friend but to an enemy so that her sacrifice may look even greater. So that's all about the questions and answers in the chapter Bequest by Eunice D'Souza. I hope all of you understood. Thank you. Please subscribe my channel and support our videos.